When Randy Travis was 66 years old, he finally told the truth about Alan Jackson. Randy Travis was born with the name Randy Bruce Trawick on May 4, 1959 in a small town called Marshville, North Carolina. He grew up in a family that didn't have much money. Randy was the second kid out of 6 children born to his mom Bobby and his dad Harold Trawick. His dad raised horses, farmed turkeys, and really loved country music. He always told young Randy to follow his dreams in music from the time he was little. Even though Randy got in trouble with the police a lot when he was young and was arrested many times as a kid, he found peace in helping music, especially in the old-fashioned country sounds of Hank Williams, George Jones, and Lefty Frizzell. These famous singers would later change his own music style in a big way, helping to create the old-style country sound that made him famous later on. Randy's road to becoming famous was really hard. When he was a teenager, he always got in fights with teachers and other adults, and he quit high school before finishing. But his life started to change in a big way when he began singing in local clubs and was found by Elizabeth Lib Hatcher, a woman who ran a nightclub and saw not only how talented he was, but also saw that he could become really great. Hatcher became the person who helped manage his career and later became his wife too, playing a really important part in making his life better, both as a person and as a singer. With her help, Randy cleaned up his behavior, got better at singing, and started making demo tapes that would get the attention of big record companies. In 1986, Travis got his big break when he put out his first album called Storms of Life, which became a huge hit with fans and music critics. It had classic songs like On the Other Hand and Digging Up Bones. This album brought back the old-fashioned country music sound at a time when country music was starting to sound more like pop music. Storms of Life didn't just sell millions of copies, but it also started a new time period in country music, making way for singers like Alan Jackson, Clint Black, and Garth Brooks. Travis had a deep, rich voice, along with real emotions and old-fashioned storytelling that made fans all across the country fall in love with his music. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, Randy Travis was the king of country music charts, with lots of #1 hit songs like Forever and Ever, Amen, I Told You So, Deeper Than the Holler, and He Walked on Water. He won tons of awards during this amazing time in his career, including many Grammy Awards, Country Music Association, CMA Awards, and Academy of Country Music ACM Awards. His music touched people's hearts deeply, not just because the songs sounded good, but because they had heartfelt messages about love, faith, family, and never giving up. Besides making music, Travis also tried acting, appearing in several movies and TV shows. When he was on screen, he was quiet but intense and honest, just like when he sang. He was in movies like The Rainmaker, Black Dog, and Fire Down Below, and had regular parts on TV shows like Touched by an Angel and Matlock. Even though acting was never the main thing he wanted to do, it showed he could do many different things and helped him become popular with people who didn't just listen to country music. During the 1990s, Randy Travis made a brave choice to try new things beyond country music by really working hard to become an actor, showing that he could do more things than many fans thought possible. He had already become a country music legend with lots of chart-topping albums and hit songs during the 1980s. So Travis saw the 1990s as a chance to try new things in the entertainment business. He started taking parts in both TV movies and big theater movies, slowly building up a good reputation as an actor. One of his first acting jobs was in the 1994 TV Western called Dead Man's Revenge, where he played a character who wasn't all good or all bad in a tough story that took place after the Civil War on the frontier. This performance let him show how natural he looked on screen and how good he was at playing characters with deep feelings. His rough Southern charm and realness made him perfect for westerns and serious dramas, types of movies that often needed someone who was strong but could also show emotions. Travis kept getting better at acting with parts in projects like Steel, Chariots in 1997, a TV drama about the world of stock car racing. His part in this movie not only showed his personal love of traditional American culture, but also made him a face that people recognize in family-friendly and heartland-themed entertainment. That same year, Travis appeared in The Rainmaker in 1997, a big movie directed by the famous filmmaker Francis Ford Coppola and based on the book by John Grisham. In this movie, Travis played the small but memorable part of Billy Porter, showing that he could move from television to big movies and work with top Hollywood actors. In 1998, he took a part in TNT, an action-packed TV movie that showed even more of his range as an actor. Travis brought honesty and down-to-earth feelings to his character, making his growing reputation as someone directors could count on in movies even stronger. He finished the decade with a performance in The $1 Million Kid in 1999, a family movie that let him connect with younger audiences and make his appeal even stronger across all ages. Randy Travis was doing well in the world of acting. A deep spiritual change was also happening inside him, one that would really change the direction of his music career. Toward the late 1990s and early 2000s, Travis began to feel more and more pulled toward faith-based music, leading him to make a really important decision. He would change from regular country to gospel music, a type of music that had always meant something personal and emotional to him. His last major regular album of the 1990s, A Man Ain't Made of Stone in 1999, was kind of like saying goodbye to his traditional country roots. Even though it still had the things that made his music special, his rich, deep voice, honest storytelling, and emotional. When the year 2000 came, he fully embraced the gospel music style, starting what would become a very successful and spiritually satisfying new part of his career. In 2000, Travis put out Inspirational Journey, his first full-length gospel album. This record was more than just a music project. It showed his renewed faith and commitment to a higher calling. The songs were filled with messages of hope, forgiveness, and God's love, touching the hearts of both his existing fans and new audiences who were drawn to his authenticity and spiritual depth. He continued this path with worship and faith in 2003, a live gospel album that included versions of classic hymns and spiritual standards. The album was recorded in a church setting and captured the emotional power of group worship, with Travis's voice bringing heartfelt honesty to every track. It became one of the most successful gospel releases of his career and earned him widespread praise within the Christian music community. His change to gospel wasn't just a career move. It was proof of his personal journey and a way of showing again his values that were deeply rooted in faith, humility, and grace. In the 2000s, Travis experienced a career comeback in the gospel music style. His album Rise and Shine in 2002, which had the powerful single 3 Wooden Crosses, earned him a Grammy Award for Best Southern Gospel, Country Gospel, or Bluegrass Gospel Album. This change showed not just a change in musical direction, but also a deepening of his personal faith. Travis's gospel work inspired a new group of Christian and country artists and showed that his artistry could go beyond the boundaries of different music styles. In the early years of Randy Travis's rise to fame, one of the most important people in both his personal and professional life was Mary Elizabeth "Lib" Hatcher. Hatcher, who had discovered Travis while he was working as a cook at a nightclub in Charlotte, North Carolina, played a huge part in changing his image and guiding his career. Their relationship went far beyond that of artist and manager. They formed a deep and complicated personal bond that saw them living together for several years before making their commitment official. During this important time in the 1980s, as Travis changed from a struggling performer to a breakout country music star, Hatcher was not only his partner in business, but also in life, offering stability and vision that helped set the foundation for his success. On May 31st, 1991, after years of private companionship and professional working together, Travis and Hatcher secretly got married. The ceremony was kept deliberately quiet, taking place without public announcement or media attention. Not long after their wedding, the couple bought a home on the Hawaiian island of Maui, looking for privacy and a peaceful getaway away from the pressures of Nashville and the constant watching of the entertainment world. The decision to keep their marriage private, combined with their move to a faraway tropical setting, caused lots of rumors among fans and members of the media alike. Travis would later remember that the secrecy around their marriage led to widespread rumors, including persistent claims that he was gay and had gotten HIV/AIDS, an especially shocking and harmful suggestion during a time when wrong information and shame about the disease were common. In early 1991, the tabloid National Enquirer published an inflammatory article claiming that Travis was gay, a claim that really upset the singer and his team. The story threatened not only his personal dignity, but also his carefully built image as a traditional country artist, a type of music that often valued conservative values and straight masculinity. Travis first thought about filing a lawsuit against the publication for lying about him. However, after talking with lawyers, he was convinced to not go to court, likely to avoid drawing more attention to the false claims. Journalist Michael Corcoran later noticed that the marriage itself, even after it was eventually made public, remained a topic of controversy. This was partly because of its earlier secrecy, but also because Hatcher was 18 years older than Travis, a detail that caused both curiosity and criticism. Their big age difference challenged normal expectations of romantic relationships, particularly within the highly image-conscious world of country music. After almost 20 years of marriage, Travis and Hatcher divorced in October 2010 officially, saying incompatibility as the reason for their separation. The end of their marriage also marked the end of their long-standing business partnership, though some sources say that she remained involved in managing parts of his career during the change. The split meant a turning point in both of their lives, especially for Travis, who had to change his personal and professional identity after losing not just a spouse, but a manager and close friend who had been with him through every step of his journey to stardom. In the years that followed, Travis found love again. After a period of quiet dating and growing companionship, he became engaged to Mary Davis, a woman who would later play an important role in his life, particularly during one of its most challenging chapters. The couple were married on March 21, 2015, making solid a relationship that had already weathered great hardship. They settled at Chrysalis Ranch, a peaceful and large property near Tioga, Texas, which became both their home and a safe place for healing and thinking. When Travis suffered a nearly deadly stroke in 2013 that severely limited his ability to speak and perform, Davis became his main caregiver and unwavering supporter. She has since taken on the responsibility of representing him in public appearances, making sure that his legacy continues to be honored and that his voice, while physically weakened, remains heard through her love and support. Their bond has come to represent strength, lasting love, and devotion in the face of overwhelming hardship. A touching second act in the life of a country music legend. In 2016, Randy Travis was rightfully put into the Country Music Hall of Fame, a moment that became one of the most emotional in the institution's history. Although he was unable to give a full speech, he amazed the audience by singing part of Amazing Grace, a haunting and moving proof of his lasting voice and spirit. That moment served as a reminder of his deep impact on country music and of the human strength that defines true greatness. At 66 years old, country music legend Randy Travis broke his long-held silence and spoke openly about fellow country star Alan Jackson, a man he has known for decades, respected deeply, and until recently rarely discussed in public in personal terms. For years, fans wondered about the nature of their relationship. Were they rivals? Were they close friends? Or were they just two icons traveling similar paths in Nashville's golden age? The truth, as Travis revealed in a heartfelt and emotional conversation during a recent Looking Back interview, is far more meaningful than any wondering could have captured. According to Travis, Alan Jackson wasn't just a fellow country artist. He was one of the few people in the music industry who always show humility, honesty, and a deep respect for traditional country roots, even as fame and commercial pressure pushed many in the genre toward pop-influenced sounds. Travis remembered with admiration how Jackson always stayed down to earth, often pushing away praise and lifting others up instead. Alan never needed the spotlight to shine alone, Travis thought back. He made room for others and treated everyone, whether a fellow artist, a crew member, or a fan, with kindness and decency. Travis went on to share never-before-told stories about Jackson's generosity behind the scenes. How during some of Travis's toughest years, including health struggles and career setbacks, Jackson reached out privately, offering support without looking for credit or publicity. One particularly touching moment Travis remembered was during his recovery after his 2013 stroke. While many public figures sent their well wishes through statements, Alan Jackson made an unannounced visit to Travis's home, sitting quietly with him, holding his hand and offering words of hope and prayer. He didn't come for show or headlines, Travis said, his voice shaking. He came because he cared. That's the kind of man Alan Jackson is. Randy also opened up about how the two artists, despite their stylistic differences, shared a mutual commitment to honoring the legacy of the greats who came before them: George Jones, Merle Haggard, and Hank Williams Sr. They often talked about their desire to keep the heart and soul of classic country alive for future generations. Jackson, according to Travis, was one of the few modern artists who could sell millions of records without compromising the authenticity of his sound. He was a torchbearer for the music we love, Travis said. He didn't chase trends. He was the standard. By finally telling this story at 66, Travis not only cleared up years of public uncertainty about his relationship with Alan Jackson, but also offered a rare and powerful tribute from one country legend to another. In a genre built on storytelling, Randy Travis chose to tell one of his most personal stories, a tale of quiet friendship, loyalty, and unwavering respect. And in doing so, he reminded fans that behind the cowboy hats and platinum records are real men with deep values and lasting bonds.